Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for another comic book review. Now last year, the Nocterra series was definitely one of my favorite series that I read in 2021. In fact, I did review all 6 issues here on the channel, and I gave high praise pretty much to every single issue that came out. I really did enjoy the story of Nocterra, and I can't wait to see what happens when issue number 7 is released in February here in 2022. Now, before we can get to the continuation of that story, we do have a special offshoot story called Blacktop Bill Origins Part 1, Hall of Mirrors. Now, for those of us who followed the first 6 issues of Nocterra, we already know that Blacktop Bill is one bad dude and has been a real thorn in the side of Val and her friends. Now, here in this special, even though we'll never see them on these pages, the story of Blacktop Bill is told through a conversation that is continued between Mother Hubbard and Bellwether that goes back to issue number 4. The writers Scott Snyder and Tony S. Daniel will take us on a journey that's woven between the time before the Big PM and present day. The objective here is to show us just how ruthless and evil Bill was before the Big PM hit, as he not only had the characteristics of a serial killer, but also acted on them in very gruesome ways. And when the Big PM hit, you could say that Bill was made in the shade, as not only is this an environment in which he can thrive in, but he also feels like he belongs. Now, when we get to the end of this issue, we will get to see the first encounter between Bill and Tiberius, where the offer was made to Bill to become the monster we all know in the present day story of Nocterra. Now, for those of you that have seen my previous Nocterra issue reviews, I've definitely given high praise to the series, and I believe I've given at least 2 issues a 10 out of 10. So it definitely pains me to say that this special offshoot comic really doesn't cut the mustard, and actually I found the Blacktop Bill special here pretty lackluster and definitely below average. So I think it's only appropriate that I give this issue a 4 out of 10. Now, the best way for me to describe this issue, in my opinion, well, it's a cheap cash in, and that's certainly a shame, because this should have served to whet our appetite for the release of issue number 7 coming in just a few weeks. The story itself, it's fine, but it could have been told in a shorter fashion and sprinkled in to a main issue and didn't need to be sold as its own separate issue. Also, even though Val is front and center on the cover, don't expect her to make an appearance in this issue either. Alright guys, well, that's going to wrap up my comic book review for the Blacktop Bill Origins Part 1 story. Now, just because I gave this issue a low score, that doesn't mean that I'm not excited for when issue number 7 releases here on February 2nd, because I'll definitely be checking it out, and I'm still excited because I think the main story is still going to give us what we want in the Nocterra universe. I think this honestly was just a cheap cash in, and honestly guys, if you haven't already gone out and bought it, there's really no reason to. Just wait for issue number 7 when it releases here in a couple weeks. Alright guys, now if you did read this issue, what are your thoughts? Comment down below. And guys, if you like comic book reviews like this and all things pop culture, make sure you stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.